Willkommen beim Schmuhlschen Wissen mit Edward Wolfgang Schmuhl. Präsentiert von Edward Wolfgang Schmuhl.
Hello, welcome everyone to Schmuhlsches Wissen. Today I have a very loved guest today, Victoria Slocum. Thank you so much for joining me today. Victoria is one of the most inspiring people I know and someone I know for a long time. So I'm very pleased and happy that you took your time today to join me on my little influencer adventure.
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah. Victoria is a technical influencer with over 50,000 followers on diverse social media channels. She does technical content and is very good at it, supposedly. I think the followers would say that. Yes, and one of her biggest strengths and something that I really... what's the English word for it? That really inspires me is her strength and resilience and her power to move on. So today I want to dive more into your persona, into your story, history, to your thoughts and perspectives on life, work, and the future, and what keeps you going.
Sounds deep. Let's go.
Yes. So this was the intro that I thought of. I hope you liked it. Already sweating because right now it's very warm and humid in Germany.
It is a little bit unpleasant.
And let me check. Okay. So, imagine we are at a party right now and we never saw each other before. So, I come to you and at a party, someone asks you, who are you? What do you do? What would you be? What will your response be?
Well, I would say hi. I'm Victoria. I always say I do a mixture of technical content on social media and then also a bit of programming. So I think my job is a bit hard to explain because I don't just do marketing or social media. I also have that like technical stuff in there where I do programming. I read machine learning papers. I learn about the nitty-gritty technical concepts and then sort of talk about that on social media as well.
I know you said it's hard to explain, but in one word or like one sentence, what is you do, especially for non-technical people?
I post stuff on LinkedIn about machine learning and AI.
But not only LinkedIn, right?
Not only LinkedIn. So I have LinkedIn and Twitter are probably my main platforms. I'd like to do some expanding on Instagram and TikTok soon. Yeah, so I learn about a lot of AI stuff, and then I talk about what I learn. I talk about things that people have built, things that I build.
And let's say this was now very technical about your job. Now you're in a party, non-tech bro party, like where you get to know each other, like in a bar. How would you introduce yourself there? Would you also start with your influence career or?
Probably not. I mean, maybe. So I would probably say, I work, I have a job. I'm not lame. But I think I also have a lot of different hobbies. I kind of go through cycles. So I do a hobby for a bit and then it sort of fades and then I pick up something else. Right now, I'm pretty into endurance sports. So I do running. I ran a marathon earlier this year. I have just bought a bike and I have a 150-mile bike race coming up in September.
That's crazy.
I still haven't ridden a bike in 2 years, so we'll see how training for this one goes. But it should be.
Do you already have it?
No, not yet. It should come next week.
Okay, then you have like 1 month to prepare.
Yeah, should be enough time, right?
Okay, that's interesting.
Easy.
I would love.
The guy in the bike shop was like, "Wow, that's ambitious."
This is the right word, ambitious.
I read a lot. I read all different types of things, everything from nonfiction to fiction to romantasy to pure romance. Yeah, I think I'm on almost 60 books this year that I've read,
crazy.
Which is pretty crazy.
Okay.
I love food. I love cooking. I love art. I love looking at art. I actually have gotten a little bit back into drawing recently, which is a new hobby I wasn't expecting to pop
Nice.
up. So that's been fun. I love music. In the past, have played both the piano and cello.
Mhm.
So I usually like people telling me their hobbies first, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I like that
Yeah.
thing too.
That's cool.
Because I really can find something
Yeah.
with everyone. Yeah.
All right. So now you established a lot of cool stuff that we can talk about. And we will definitely get back to your hobbies and your endurance sports fixation right now. But let's start more. Well, let's go a bit back. And you already told me your hobbies. Is there something that very small but reliably makes you happy? Like, is there some kind of ritual that you always do, or something that you can always come back to that makes you happy?
I think one of the things that has really helped me the most in life is finding those small moments that bring you joy.
Mm.
And I am a big fan of forcing myself to sort of take the time every day to notice those moments. But for me, like, it can be all sorts of different things. Like, maybe I wake up and walk down the street and I hear the birds out for the first time in the spring.
Ooh.
Maybe that first sip of coffee really hits hard some mornings, and that makes me happy. I see my plant growing and it's doing really well. That will make me happy. Spending time with friends. I don't know. A good pun always makes me happy. Swimming. New experiences.
That is very
Yeah.
beautiful.
Good food also. Always good food.
So these small moments is like what you focus on, and
Yeah.
did you have them a lot? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of the saying that the things you notice the most, or how do they phrase that? Like, the more you notice something, the more presence in your life it will have. So if you're always looking at what's bad, if you're always complaining,
yeah.
if you're always sort of focusing on the pain, on the annoyances in your day, then that's what's going to stay in your memory and in your minds. But if you force yourself to sort of move that into focusing on the good, the tiny moments where you're like, oh wow, this is pretty nice, then that's what will stay in your mind and your memory.
So you try to focus on the positive things and kind of try to not think about the bad stuff.
Yeah, and obviously it's okay to also complain and think about the bad stuff,
Yes.
but to also have that balance.
And is there something that you like kind of like or find positive that others find strange or a bit funny? Like maybe if you see a green car, then you say, hell yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Anything strange about you, Victoria?
Oh, there's a lot strange about me. But pulling something out right now.
No wrong answers. Just
I
what
know.
comes up to your mind. What do you like that others find
I like
a bit?
a really good pun.
Oh,
A really good pun always gets me. I have one pun that takes about 5 to 8 minutes to tell.
oh my God.
The whole story.
this
And then
is-
at the end, it is the most dad joke pun you have ever heard. And every time I tell this, people are like, I have just wasted 5 minutes of my life. And that is the best feeling.
Okay, I see. Okay, I like it. I like that answer.
Yeah,
I like this.
Thanks.
Okay, so now I think let me rephrase it. I think to believe that something that you also like per se is like language, right? Like linguistics and stuff. If that's true.
It
What
is.
about like language and linguistics is that you kind of like what makes you attracted to it?
Well, I guess to go there, I'd sort of have to go a bit into the backstory because I studied linguistics in university. And before I studied linguistics, I actually was very set on becoming a biomedical engineer. So in high school, I worked at a bioengineering lab at the local university, so UC San Diego. And it was sort of my dream for years since freshman year of high school to be a bioengineer. I wanted to work in like either prosthetics or 3D printing organs or something like
Oh,
that.
cool.
I was very, very, very set
How-
on my career path.
How came that to be? Like, how did you got the idea to do a bioengineering?
Well, I was a very prepared teenager. I knew I wanted to sort of figure out what I wanted to do with my life very early on, and then
Okay.
worked very hard to get there. And so I went through sort of the phases. I was like, okay, I like designing stuff. Maybe architecture is the thing for me. But then I
Cool.
looked into that, and I was like, you have to spend so many years like just designing sort of like mediocre things before you can even get the chance to become famous.
Yeah.
And the chance that you get to do something creative with architecture is very, very low. So I was like, okay, maybe that's not the thing for me. And I was like, okay, well, I really like biology. Maybe I want to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at how much school you had to do to be a doctor, and that you had to also like work with patients, and it was a lot of paperwork, and even being a surgeon, there was a lot of school, and I was like, okay, that's maybe not the right thing for me. And then my dad is an engineer, so engineering was always like a very prominent part of
That's
my
cool.
life.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, maybe something engineering,
Mm-hmm.
but then I liked the biology side and I liked the designing side, and so it all came
Cool.
together freshman year, and I found bioengineering, and I was like, this is it. This is my career path. This is what I'll do for the rest of my life. And I did end up going my first year of uni as a bioengineer. I worked in the same lab that I had worked in high school. I got a scholarship from the university. I was
Wow.
studying scoliosis in rats.
Ooh.
I had like my own research project, and COVID hit, and I had a physics professor that I did not really like that class, and it was COVID, and I couldn't be in the lab,
Yeah.
and I was miserable.
Mm.
And I was like, I can't see myself going through 3 more years of this. And so I started sort of looking for another path.
Was it miserable because of COVID and just like isolation, or because
Yeah.
of the studies themselves?
A little bit the studies. So I found it very frustrating that I had to spend so long learning the basics before I could actually do anything
Yeah.
important. Like the thought of 3 years of like basic chemistry, basic biology, or I mean not 3 years, but before I even got into the nitty gritty doing stuff was a bit of a hard pill to swallow. And I was already feeling a bit burnt out.
Yeah.
And then partially because I couldn't be there in person in the lab. Like I loved like dissecting cow knees and working with the stuff in person, and not having that.
Yeah, I see.
So I switched my major to linguistics. My parents were like, what are you doing right now? Like, we're paying for this. Like, is this really what you want? Like, you've wanted bioengineering for so long. But I went through all the majors that my university had to offer, and I was really like, okay, I want something more in the arts direction. Like, I don't want to do more science classes. And I was like, well, I've always loved languages. I've always wanted to learn more languages. I find like people who can speak multiple languages really, really cool. And so I was like, linguistics sounds really fun because not only do you learn, like learning languages is a part of the course, but the majority of the course is learning about languages as a whole. So we call it capital L languages. And it's all the different parts that are similar or different across languages, how they come from different families, which languages are extinct, all the different sounds that are in all the different languages of the world, the patterns across them, weird languages, and I just found it fascinating. So I did the rest of my linguistics degree. I sort of speed ran it in COVID, parents' basement. And I was able to graduate in 2.5 years total. So 1 year of bioengineering and then another 1.5 years of linguistics. I got my bachelor's in linguistics. And now I sort of just have a lot of fun facts about linguistics.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you felt miserable, you didn't like it, and then you kind of stumbled to linguistics. And how did it, or when did you feel like, okay, this is the right decision, or I really want to continue, I want to finish linguistics?
I didn't really. It was just going pretty. I mean, I don't know. I never had I really loved my classes. I had a couple of really amazing professors in linguistics. I felt like the program at UC San Diego was really well structured. There was a lot of, so they have like the structured classes that you have to take, and then basically like your choice of the classes you want to do on top of that. And so I took a lot of classes on sign language, so American Sign Language and sign language in general.
Can you do sign language actually?
I used to be better at it, but I've got pretty advanced at American Sign Language.
Can you say something in sign language? Oh, your name's Victoria.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Very bad. Sorry for all the people who actually speak American Sign Language out there, but yeah.
That's very fascinating.
Yeah. It was a different way of looking at the world because language is tied to culture. It's tied to like almost the way people view the world. Like whether it's through the number system or through the way you describe directions.
Yeah.
There's so many different like nuances of like how things have developed differently in different areas, and it's fascinating.
And especially how language still develops right now.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so you started with bioengineering. You ended up in linguistics. How the hell did you end up in Berlin being an influencer doing AI content?
Yeah, so that's the second part of the story. So we're about like 2 years, almost 2.5 years into my degree, and I realized that I'm almost up to the amount of credits and classes I have to graduate, and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm graduating next semester. I should probably start looking for a job. And I was like, I knew I didn't really want to work in linguistics because working in linguistics sort of takes you in one of two directions. Either you work in academia, so you get your PhD, and I was like, I'm done with school. Like, I don't want to do this university thing anymore. I want out.
Because you wanted to have like hands-on experience and like actually do something, or?
And I feel like the school structure, although I love learning, having this structured learning pattern where you have to do certain work and turn in assignments for grades was not the best way for me to learn.
Yes.
And so I was kind of tired of it. That's why I also speed ran my degree a bit. Yeah. And then the other direction you can go in is like in the field. So field work. So you go to, I don't know, a language and you try to document it, or you work in like historic things. And I knew that really wasn't the direction for me either.
Okay.
Nothing in particular, just I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
And one of my final classes was, we had a guest lecture, and he did basically computational linguistics or natural language processing. And he did a guest lecture in one of my classes, and he was talking about the first DALL model that ever got released.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this, but it's like, there's this prompt where it's like a radish walking a dog wearing a tutu. And then it could generate an image of a radish wearing a tutu walking a dog. And this was like...
That's crazy.
Now it's like normal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it was like, I think my professor said like he didn't expect this to happen for another like 5 to 10 years. It was insane that we had this model that could do this. And I remember sitting in that class being like, holy crap, I just found what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like the prospect of teaching computers to understand language, not just the structure of language, but the freedom of language. Because it is so, there's not just one structure, one path.
Yeah.
It is really so variable. And I was fascinated. I was hooked. And so I was like, oh no, I need to learn how to program.
Did you ever had experience in programming before in your other learnings?
I mean, I did a little bit in high school. I like dabbled a little bit in robotics. I dabbled a little bit in Python.
Okay. So you had some kind of contact
I
before.
knew what it was, but I hadn't really done anything serious with it. Nothing good.
Yeah.
And so I sat down and I basically started teaching myself how to code. And I came up with this project idea. and it was called Sin Song.
Mm.
And basically, you type in a sentence, and then it outputs a playlist based on that sentence.
Ooh.
And I used 2 technologies for this project. I used Spacey, which was like a natural language processing library, to basically take that sentence and extract like keywords and phrases.
Mm.
And then I used Music Match, which can like search through Spotify.
Yeah.
They do all the lyrics for Spotify, and they did do a bunch of machine learning on those lyrics. And so I started posting about that project on Twitter.
Ooh.
I got like 2 or 3 likes per post. And one person from Music Match ended up reaching out to me
Oh, wow.
about an internship.
That's cool.
Unfortunately, that ended up falling through due to visa issues.
Mm.
And the other person who ended up liking my content was Philip, who is my current boss, and you.
Me.
You. Aesthetic Edward on
Yes,
Twitter.
on Twitter. Okay, before we continue that story, can you explain to listeners that this was before ChatGPT and
Yes.
we just couldn't say to a LLM, yeah, extract or make me a playlist. This was hard work.
Yeah, I mean, the way we built stuff back 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it wasn't even that long ago, but LLMs completely changed the game. I mean,
Yes.
you had to take that sentence and you basically had to use these small models to extract whether something was a noun or something was a verb, and then
Yes.
use that to infer what other words were in that sentence, and then you can extract phrases, but you want like a word is different if it's plural or if it's like a verb and it's conjugated, then that causes all sorts of problems. And then you have entities, and then you have to link that entity to actually what it is, and it was very, 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 very complicated.
Yes.
So, I mean, and this is also before AI programming, so I actually had to code myself.
Yes.
Which doesn't really happen that much
Yes.
anymore. So it was a much different thing, and like a lot of Stack Overflow time, a lot of searching through. I think once I ran into a bug and I was on the 10th page of Google
Oh my God.
before I found the answer to this.
It's usually not a good sign.
No, but I did end up finding the answer, and I actually wrote like do you know like dev.to? What is it like? It's like some blog site
Yeah.
that was popular back then. I wrote an article about it, and I got so many people being like, "Thank you, this saved me."
Oh, really?
I was like, "I got you." I kind of
Nice.
missed the community of programming back then. It's
Yeah.
different now. Mm-hmm.
Because nowadays you don't need a community, you need more tokens.
Yeah,
More money.
token maxing.
Cool. So was this like the first time you ever like posted and interacted with
Yeah.
like communities like that?
Yeah. It was the first time I even thought about really doing content.
Yeah.
But I knew, because I had no experience,
Mm.
that just applying for jobs was not going to get me anywhere.
Yes.
And I somehow had to show people that I, not that I had the skills necessarily, but that I was willing to work really hard and get the skills, and just showing my process through that.
So you built SinSong to learn coding, but also to show what you can actually do.
Yes. Yeah. And I didn't really know what I was doing back then. I was just sort of doing everything I could.
But that's the energy that I really liked back then, and that's why I told Philip we need that person in our
Yes.
team.
Yeah, so there were like 500, 600 people who applied to that initial internship.
Yes,
at
and I will show the video that we did to get the interns, maybe now, because it was a very funny video we did.
It's the best video. I mean, this post went so viral.
Yes.
I saw that, and I remember at the time I was still waiting on this music match thing. I didn't know that it was not going to pan out yet, and I saw it and I was like, wow, that looks like a really cool job. I wish I could apply, but I have this other thing, so I'm not going to apply. And then we know what happened.
Before we continue to your you moved to Berlin and stuff, I want to speak about a topic that just sprung my mind, because like changing from bioengineering to linguistics and then from linguistics to NLP, it was like still recent, right? And what do you think about the fact that a couple years later we were at the like forefront of AI? Like you learned about linguistics and NLP just before ChatGPT arrived. Do you think that's like was it luck or a good thing that we're here? Like, you know what I mean?
I do. I remember in the beginning feeling like in the beginning days of Explosion, sort of feeling like, wow, all these people have been working in the NLP industry for 10 years, 15 years. And I was like, I have so much to catch up on. Like there's so much I don't know. There's so much history here that these people have been like living through.
Yeah.
And that I don't have, because I literally just found out about this field like 3 weeks ago. And now I feel like even though it hasn't been that long, like we have lived through like the birth of the LLM.
Yes.
And then everything that has come after that. And it's just been so fast, so much development in such a short time, where the entire industry has almost rehauled itself.
Yes.
Like entire upheaval of the way things used to be done. And I almost feel like we came in at exactly the right time, because we didn't have any of that prior knowledge almost holding us back or stopping us from jumping on this train and just going, choo-choo, let's go.
The hype train.
The hype train was rolling, and we were just right there with it. And also being able to post stuff, and really like part of our job was keeping up to date with the entire world. And that was really good, because otherwise I don't know how it would have kept up to date if it wasn't part of my job. Like kudos to all the people out there with actually real jobs who still kept up to date with AI news, because that was insane for a bit.
Yes, I agree.
I think it was a good time to jump on. And as much as like the history of NLP and computational linguistics is fun to know, I don't think it's necessarily useful to know anymore.
Okay, I know I'm going off script now, but this is a very like interesting thread, and I'm really interested in hearing your perspective. So, bioengineering, linguistics, NLP, now LLM, birth of like the completely revolutionized how we work. I haven't wrote code like months ago. So, and compared to last year where I was building all the stuff line by line, and today I can build 3 projects because now we have these agents. What do you think is like the next development, like in regarding agents and robotics? What's the next revolutionary step that we are heading to? And will we be again lucky enough to be at the right position at the right time?
I definitely think we will be there no matter what. I go back and forth on this a little bit. I feel like there is a huge pushback in the general population regarding AI. People do not like AI generated content. They are tired of reading AI slop. They're tired of watching AI slop. They do not want this. But the benefits it has for what we're able to program, the software we're able to create so fast, has been insane. And that part really hasn't reached the general population yet. The general population is just seeing all this video and text that is horrible. And I'm also tired. I'm burnt out reading and watching AI slop too.
Yeah.
Like I'm right there with us. So I really think whatever comes next, software and the ability to quickly create personal software is going to be at the forefront. And that will be the main use of AI. AI is not going to be used to generate movies or, I don't know, hopefully not so much written content on the internet. Like I think we'll go back to smaller communities, creators that we trust, really the individual. People love to follow people, and the people will be sort of at the forefront of the content. But what companies and I think the shift that people will start to have is personalized local software. So having your own home lab set up where you have your agents running locally, you're not spending $1,000 a month on token costs. And you can have your personal agent sort of in an isolated environment take care of things for you that are like meaningless menial tasks. For companies, it's going to look like hosting their own models, having gateways to maybe not locally hosted models, so you limit what you can chat with them on there, and also like how much you can spend on there. Having personalized models running locally that also work behind the scenes to do tasks. So really local, push forward, privacy, guardrails. Yeah. That's my bet.
Cool. Yeah, I'm very interested in how this will develop, and I agree with you. And right, we talked about a lot of LLMs, AI, your past. I want to connect now to your biggest, maybe one of your biggest decision ever in your life so far, the decision to move to Berlin.
Yeah, that was a bit of a crazy decision.
Yeah.
So we were working at Spacey at Explosion at the time, and I was only an intern. And they told me when they offered me sort of the full-time position, the like non-intern position, that if I wanted to move to Berlin, I could. I didn't have to. I could stay, work in the US.
Yeah.
Or they would sponsor my visa and I could work here. And since I was a teenager, I've sort of always had this like unattainable dream in the back of my mind that it would be really cool to live in Europe. But it never seemed possible.
Yeah, like
it was
not
never
tangible. Like
no, like I mean,
couldn't grab
how does someone even do that?
Start, yeah.
And it was never like such a big dream that I would have pursued that to any end. But the opportunity just sort of fell into my lap.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I would be pretty stupid right now not to take this opportunity. And so I just sort of said yes.
That's very cool and very
I didn't really think
brave.
through the decision very brave is an interesting word. I don't think I felt very brave at the time. I sort of just felt like YOLO.
I mean, you can also be YOLO brave, I think.
A little dash of crazy was in there somewhere.
Have you been to Europe before?
Yeah. I was lucky in my childhood and teenage years to be able to travel a lot with my family. I went to Italy when I was about 15, 16. And this was the time period where I was like, I would love to live here in Europe.
Oh, nice.
And
so this thought came to you. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I had visited Berlin once or twice before I actually decided to move. But it was never really on my radar. Like, I don't think I would have chosen to move here necessarily. If you said, go pick anywhere to live in Europe, I would have never chosen Berlin.
Yeah.
But the opportunity came. I said, sounds good. I got like a living hotel for 2 months, November. That's a horrible time. If anyone's thinking about moving, do not move in November.
Yeah, and the winter depression.
Extremely isolating, cold, horrible. But I still fell in love with it. I fell in love with the food and the culture and the people and the freedom that is here. And yeah, I haven't thought about moving back since.
So you like it in Berlin?
I do. I really, really, really do. It's not an easy thing. I think coming to a country, people say you can't speak English in Berlin.
Yeah.
Because it is such a multicultural city. But I was always of the mindset that if I'm going to live in a country, I want to be able to speak the language. And so learning German in the past 3 years has been a huge priority of mine. But of course, working a full-time job, and probably more than a full-time job at most times in the startup world, plus doing 10 to 15 to 20 hours of German learning a week for the past 3 years,
a lot
weighs on you. And then constantly feeling foreign.
Yeah.
You constantly don't feel like you fit in completely. It's hard to find your place in the beginning, hard to make friends. Winters are very hard. Not easy.
Is this still an issue, or like do you still feel foreign right now, or has this been improving over the time?
It's definitely been improving over the time. I think the first year was the hardest, getting past that first year, and then having like A1, A2 level German was really the biggest thing for me. When I can go into a shop and immediately I'm not just like English, that I don't have to rely so much on, I don't know, the English and being sort of naive. And I've started figuring out like how to separate trash and like the little things that you don't really think about when you've lived in a place for so long. But when you move somewhere, you're like, I don't know how to do anything anymore. And I think year 2, it started to get a lot better. And then this past year 3 has been amazing. Like I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
My German's getting better. I have friends. I have a friend group. I know my way around. I know how to separate trash.
A very important German skill.
Very important German skill. I still have never done fund. I've never given my bottles to the machine. Yet? No.
What are you doing with your fund, Victoria, for 3 years?
Class. Trash. I know, that's illegal. Maybe we need to cut that out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but.
What was the biggest thing you would have not expected when you were in Berlin? Like, what are the positive and negative surprises that you got? Like,
it's always the little things. Like, I feel like the big things you sort of get to, but the littlest things were the culture shock for me. Like, being able, like the Wegbier, like drinking beer outside, like on your way to something, and that like I don't know, like cornern, like just drinking beer in the corner of some place, like late at night, or this was like what? Because it is so not an American thing. You have to like have it in the paper bag and be super secret. And another positive was like public transportation. I love not having to drive everywhere. I love being able to just walk places. That has been amazing. And even taking the train to other places in Europe has been an incredible experience. Bad things were when the grocery store checkout lady yelled at me for putting the bottles in the wrong direction on the like thing that moves. What do you call that? Conveyor belt. Yeah. Or I don't know. The Germans can be they're not mean, but they're very direct. Yeah. And sometimes not in a nice way. That has been something to learn. Yes. The Americans are very polite and happy, bubbly, and will never tell you when you're doing something wrong. The Germans will tell you directly and exactly then. And that has been, as someone who's a people pleaser too, sometimes that has been hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. How many trash bins also is insane to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, to finish off the Berlin topic, if you could tell someone the top 5 things you need to know before moving to Berlin, if you would do a video, a TikTok about this, what would be the 5 top things you would recommend doing or not doing when coming to Berlin, and how to survive it?
How to survive it?
How to survive Berlin?
It's a good question. I think the top 5 for me is firstly to be sort of prepared that it's going to be hard, but that it will also get better. Yeah. Like the first 1 to 2 years will be rough. You will cry. German people will yell at you, but you'll also eventually find your place. And if you find the small moments that make you happy, it will make a difference. Second thing is apartment hunting is horrible. Do it early. Have patience. And you will find something. But yeah, do it early. Be prepared for it to be horrible. Third thing that I can recommend is to find some sort of community. For me, that was like martial arts classes. DALL was really the place where I could go every week. I could see people, talk to people, sort of find a way, but it could be anything. It could be a coffee shop that you visit regularly. It could be art classes. It could be language classes. It could be, I don't know, run club. But just find something where you see the same people, you go regularly, and it's sort of like a consistent thing. What's the fourth one? Fourth one is language learning. It takes time and patience. Learn your DALL. Everyone said this to me in the beginning, and I was like, it'll be fine. I don't need to learn the nouns with DALL. It'll just come to me eventually.
Yeah.
No, false. Learn DALL with every single noun, and you will be much better when you get to a higher level, unlike me. And fifth is to, I don't know, have a little bit of an adventurous spirit.
Yeah.
Be willing to make mistakes. To go somewhere and not do everything right. And to try new things and experience all that life in a different country has to offer. I think it's something that I struggled with over the years, is to really force myself to go out and be open and be okay with speaking bad German or messing something up. But perfection is a closet and you need to break free.
I love this answer. It was very nice. You mentioned a lot of things that are very interesting that I would love to go more into. I think I want to talk a bit more about your, because you mentioned it already, like the way you force yourself to think differently and that you struggle with like being a people pleaser and like it's hard for you to like go out there and do mistakes and do stuff. And forgot my point.
Yeah.
But let me rephrase my question. Or let me connect it to the other topic. So is like we talked about a lot about your work and big travel to Berlin and trying over the last 3 years to find a place, a community, and is something like sports, especially sports like the martial arts club or the endurance sports that you mentioned, something that helped you gain like confidence or reduce the fear of doing something wrong?
Absolutely. I mean, this has been a struggle for me forever, is people pleasing and self-confidence and just the ability to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think the fear of being a failure has been something that has sort of held me back my entire life. And I think a lot of people might look at me, someone who sort of just like picked up her whole life and moved to Berlin without much thoughts. Or I don't know, I have done marathons without really training for them, signed up for crazy races, and they might think, wow, she's so confident. She's so brave. This is just part of her personality, but no.
So I see a pattern.
Yeah.
Is it because you forced yourself to do it, or was it, how did you feel inside when you decided to move to Berlin? How did you feel inside when you decided I want to run a marathon? How did you decide to say, okay, I've rode a bike 2 years ago, I'm going to buy a very expensive one and I'm going to do a bike race next month?
Yeah, I feel like it's a really interesting aspect of my personality is that I have really big goals and dreams. Even becoming a bioengineer and working in this lab in high school and then completely switching around and switching to linguistics, I have very big dreams and I'm good at having big dreams. But when it comes to the small steps within that process,
So you just skip the steps.
I get in my head a little bit. And I think sports has been a big one to help me realize that training consistently helps you achieve your goals. Whoa. And with martial arts that like doing something consistently will consistently make you better. When I look at where I was 3 years ago versus where I am now with martial arts, like the difference just from consistent effort and training and enjoying something is really like astounding how much progress you can make. Or with running marathons. I think the first marathon I did was in 2021 in February, and I didn't really train very well for it. I got injured immediately after. I still completed it.
Yeah.
But it was a bit of I had a big dream, I achieved it, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And doing that and doing another one recently where I actually trained pretty well for it, maintaining that consistency, and then, doing that stuff has been really good for me. I think another thing that has also been really good for this fear of making mistakes has been work in social media. I remember in the beginning being so afraid to post on social media, double, triple checking. Are there any typos in this?
Yeah.
Am I saying something bad about my company? Is like this going to be taken the wrong way? And then over the past years, I've had a few posts go viral that had like work appropriate controversial topics.
Yeah.
Like I think I said one like text SQL is dead.
Yeah.
And people were like, what? And then they were like fighting in the comments. And I was like, wow, like having this sort of like, it's okay to have this sort of controversialness, to make mistakes, to have opinions, not people please everyone, because it will actually make you more individual, a better creator, a better person, more interesting. And I'm still working on these aspects myself, is like being okay to make mistakes, being okay to fail at something, and that doesn't define me. I did a marathon last year that I did not complete. That was also another mental thing that I had to go through. But then doing one again this year and actually completing it, flipped the script. So it's these things in life that you really have to self-reflect. What is this teaching me about myself? And what can I do to push myself beyond those boundaries? And that has always been sort of one of my biggest purposes in life, and what I do is, what are my boundaries and how do I push them further?
So would you say you pushed your boundaries over the last 3 years?
Oh, yeah. The boundaries have been, like, pushed to the next continent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, when I look at the person I was 3 years ago, I was deeply anxious, deeply afraid. Like, I don't know. Do you remember in the karaoke night that we did at the Explosion offsite? And I was so afraid to sing and put myself out there. Like, it's a little thing, but I think it says a lot.
Yeah, I see.
Versus, like, last month when we went to karaoke, and I was fully okay with being bad and singing and putting myself out there. And I think it just shows the progress I've made, you know, in life, in my shortcomings, so to say.
And I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
That's also why you inspire me so much, because all of this strength and this pushing came from yourself. You pushed yourself to push yourself boundaries even further. And I think you're a great role model. And I think many people struggle where you struggled 3 years ago. What would your advice be? Like, how can be someone as strong as you, or like how can they develop? What was the thing that helped you the most? Or
It's a good question, and I feel like it's a really hard one to answer because it has to really come from within.
Yeah.
And self-reflection is hard. Looking at the parts of yourself that are not nice, recognizing that, and then not letting it define you, and then being willing to work towards a better version of yourself is hard. It is probably the hardest thing anyone will ever have to do in their life.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable, and it's scary, and like almost no one really does it.
And it's like a lifelong thing you
It's a
have to
lifelong
do.
journey. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not done. Like even if somewhere someday I become unafraid of failure, there's always going to be something else
Yeah.
that I need to work on. It's never done, and it's something that not only affects you, it affects your relationships, your
Yeah.
friendships, your work, what you're able to accomplish, and sometimes going through that process can make you worse for a bit before you get better. But I've struggled a lot with like mental health in high school, and one of the things that has taught me the most is one, like enjoying the small moments of your life,
Yeah.
finding joy, finding peace, finding happiness, because it's not just going to appear.
Yeah.
You need to see it because it is there. You need to see it. And second thing is self-reflection pays off 1,000,000 times. Seeing those parts of yourself that are not nice, not letting it define you, and then working on them through small little steps is one of the best things you can do. For me, that happened a lot through journaling. I also think it's really important to take time that you don't have stimulus coming into you.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will just sit and stare at a wall. I will lay on my floor. Sometimes there'll be music, sometimes there'll be not music. Meditation in some form. Sometimes that's running for me. It's really important to have those thoughts come up, reflect on them, and then see where that leads you. And then, like, actionable plans. So not only saying, like, oh, I have a fear of making mistakes and then not doing anything about that,
Yeah.
but actually being like, okay, how do I push that boundary a little bit further? What is a step I can take? So like social anxiety, for example, is something that I also struggle with sometimes. And so how do I push that boundary a little further? Maybe I will go to a coffee shop, buy a coffee alone and sit there.
Oh, wow.
Whoa! Which is a big step. And then when I complete that a few times, maybe I will go eat at a restaurant alone. Maybe I will talk to some stranger on the street.
Ooh.
And it's about finding those little things that you can accomplish that are just a bit hard.
Yeah.
And then you can feel that feeling of success and accomplishment and overcoming. And that'll push you further.
That was a fantastic answer.
Thanks. It was a long one.
But it was a tangible one, something that some might apply.
Yeah.
Okay, now we go a bit away of like this deep psychological discussion and have a fun one. What are your goals for 2026?
Ooh,
How big are they now?
goodness. Okay. So I have a thing where every 3 years I have a set of 3-year goals. And then every year I have a set of yearly goals. I have not been very good at keeping up with my yearly goals this year, to be honest with you.
What are your yearly goals?
So I think on my website I have it broken down into 3 sort of segments. The first is sport and like physical health.
Yeah.
So I think I had run a marathon in under 5 hours, which I did not get to in my last marathon. And I don't think I'll be running a marathon again this year. So unfortunately that one won't be done, but I am proud of the marathon I did. So I'm okay with that. I had eating enough to maintain my goals, which I've been doing really well at. So I'm very proud of that. DALL is always on my goals, so progressing in that. And probably had something else on there, but I don't really remember what. But I think physical health is a big pillar in my life, and so I always have some goals related to that.
Is there like because like keeping your physical health good and eating well is like something that you have to do always, right?
Yes.
Is there something like a marker where you say, okay, I reached that goal? Like,
yes. I think for that, maybe I'll go to my 3-year goals instead, because I have a lot of plans for 3 years.
Okay.
I would love to do an ultra marathon. So this year is the first year of my 3-year goals. So the ones I did for the last 3 years, I sort of done my retro on them, and the ones before that also. So I'd run an ultra marathon, which is anything over a marathon, but I think I'd love to do a 100-miler.
That's crazy.
Which is
That is crazy.
insane. I'd love to do some form of a triathlon. I'd love to do an Ironman, but
That would be really
a bit
amazing and
wild
crazy. Yeah.
of a goal too. I don't know. I think it's gonna be one or the other in the next 2 years, an
Yeah.
Ironman or an ultra. Doing both is probably a bit beyond.
What's the difference? Like ultramarathon isn't just running, right?
Yes.
And Ironman is like have different disciplines.
So I've wanted to do the one in Berlin, the ultra marathon in Berlin. It's 100 miles along the Berlin Wall.
How much is it in European units?
I think it's around 160 kilometers.
That is
So it's about
crazy.
4 marathons. Yeah. And then an Ironman is obviously like the swim. So it's like a 4K swim.
yeah.
The bike, it's like 180 kilometer bike. And then a full marathon at the end. So 40 kilometers run. So we'll have to see which one of the two I decide to do. But one of those, Viet Vidal, I want at least my 3rd, possibly 4th stripe in that. And then, like, just, not getting injured is always a good
Yeah.
goal.
That's a great goal. To not die.
It's rule number 1, don't die. Other things on my 3-year goals list is like getting a certain number of followers on my channels. I have that I want to get better at, like free speaking. So being able to do stuff like this, formulate thoughts and then express them clearly, is always a good thing to practice.
Yes.
Um,
But you're doing great. I'm very
Thanks.
amazed.
Public speaking is
Yes.
also something really hard. What else is on there? Learning stuff. So having that creative aspect, whether that's going deeper into sound design or video production or 3D Blender stuff,
Yes.
is always having those projects that sort of take you outside what you know and expand upon your skills.
Oh my
Both-
God, so much I would want to talk to you about.
I know. Yeah.
But yes, let's finish the goals and then
Yeah.
I'll have to take one. Decide for one I want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I need to do my sort of half-year check-in with my goals this year. But yeah, and then learning German has been on there for obviously a while now. I'd like to get to C1 within the next 2 years, which I think is probably my most achievable goal because I'm not too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we definitely gonna have another interview as soon as you start your preparation for your ultra marathon or your Ironman.
Yes.
I would love to learn more about how I would like to know now how you actually structured your training for your marathon, because a marathon still in itself is crazy achievement.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of preparation and work to actually plan out a training plan and then how to get and keep the discipline to actually train it.
Yes.
And
yes.
walk me through it. How did you start? How did you manage to do it? And how did it feel after finishing it and living through all the work that you did?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the coolest things about endurance sports, right? Is you put in all this training and effort, and then it's like one day where you basically, everything comes together and it either works or it doesn't. Another interesting thing about the marathon distance, like I think the half marathon, the 10K, the 5K are all fantastic to do, and anyone who runs those distances is great. But something that's always intrigued me about the marathon is this mental aspect of it, because past 35 kilometers, your body physically cannot store enough food.
Yeah.
So you have to fuel during the race. And if you don't fuel properly, then it causes problems. And this is where people hit the wall.
Yeah.
And the wall is this moment where your whole body, your mind, does not want to continue. And you have to find a way to convince yourself that it's okay, that you can push through this. that you can overcome this challenge.
Yeah.
And so I ran my marathon in April. I started training maybe 6 months before. I actually used Runna, which is a popular app. I think they're owned by Strava, and they use AI to basically generate a training plan for you, and you can put in your race, and then it'll like backtrack then a training plan for you. So I used that. I ended up getting sick a lot over winter.
Oh.
So I was very motivated, but then I had several weeks where I couldn't run at all, which is a bit hard. But basically, you slowly build up your mileage over time. So in the beginning, maybe your long runs are 5K, 7K, 10K, depending on how early you start.
Yeah.
And at the end, usually your longest run is about 33 kilometers. And I did about 2 to 3 runs a week. So you do one long run, usually like an easy run. It's a bit shorter. And then some sort of speed workout is in there too. And then gym on top of that. One of the things I did not do very well on this past training that I've since reflected on and will do for future trainings is actually training your stomach. Because when you have to ingest carbs when you're doing exercise, it's not like your stomach's not used to that. Like a lot of people get cramps or it's not like a pleasant thing to do is like
can imagine.
while you're running. And so that's actually something you have to train. And like top athletes will actually like train to eat more carbs per hour, and your body actually can adapt to then use those carbs better.
Interesting.
While you're training, which is really fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's sort of was my training.
Brilliant.
And I'm very slow to put this also out there. Like, you're not limited by time. Like I ran my marathon in 5.5 hours, which is relatively slow marathon time. But it's with distance, I think it's also a cool distance because you kind of just got to say, like, I ran 40 kilometers. Like, what did you do this weekend?
Is it important for you, like, this time metric? Or is it more important to you that you actually managed to do it?
I think I've always gravitated towards the longer distances because I've never been a fast runner. And it's more this accomplishment of achieving something.
Also
is
like
more
it.
important to me. But I think it's also important to say because sometimes when you say you run marathons, people assume like you're very fast.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to say because it sort of widens maybe who gets into the sport. Like, you do not have to be fast to be a runner. Slow runners are runners too.
If you run, you run.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like this. I like this. All right, there's so much I want to talk to you about. And I guess this has to wait for the other few interviews. But to summarize, we got a little glimpse of your history, your past, your goals, your things that motivates you. Also the hard times you had to endure and how you actually survived them by self-reflecting your mind and pushing your boundaries so that next year you're doing an ultra marathon, which is crazy.
Or an Ironman.
There's still a lot things like your influencer life, how to actually manage so many people looking at what you do and being like a micro celebrity, especially in the AI field. You had different talks you were doing publicly, also in like PyCon. You were a woman in tech, which is a big topic, which we can't do today. So you're definitely gonna come back.
I look forward to coming back.
And I'll have one last question for you before we wrap this up.
Hit me.
Looking back at where you started and where you are right now, like 5 years back, what surprised you the most? If little Victoria five years ago would be here, what would be the biggest thing she would say, oh my God, I would have never thought I would do this or say this or think about this like this way?
It's interesting because my honest answer is almost everything. Victoria 10 years ago would be shocked at how my life has turned out, where I live, what I do for work, what I do in my free time, the fact that I run. I think if you asked my cross country team in high school, like, who is the person on this team least likely to run a marathon, they would have unanimously voted for me. But then even like not physical things or not like definable things, like my self-confidence, my self-reflection, my mental health states, like I would have never expected to be this healthy, this happy, this confident, this fine. And it's not come easily. It's come through hard work.
Yeah.
But I am extremely, extremely proud of how much progress I have made. Turns out you can do a lot in 5 or 10 years if you have enough will.
Then I'm especially very curious what will happen in the next 5 years.
Me
I think
too.
baby Victoria would be very proud and would be happy for the future and very excited for the future. I'm excited for the future as well and what we're going to do and what you're going to do.
Me too.
Thank you so much for joining my Schmusches Wissen podcast today.
It's been an honor. I have loved being here.
And I hope to see you again. And
Peace out.
peace out.